There are moments in science when a single image doesn't just raise questions, shatters them. A frame so strange, so impossible, that it forces us to reconsider everything we thought we knew. That moment has arrived. NASA's final composite of interstellar object 3, I-Atlas, doesn't merely look unusual. It confirms phenomena that experts hoped were errors. And now the world's top astrophysicists are scrambling to explain a reality that shouldn't exist. What was once dismissed as just another comet on a hyperbolic path has revealed anomalies so extreme they defy every rule of physics we've held sacred. A sunward tail, delayed chemical reactions, an impossibly precise trajectory, and in the final images, a rhythmic signal embedded in light itself. This isn't a visitor from beyond. This is something else. Something that doesn't fit into any category we've created to understand the universe. And if the final images are correct, the real question isn't what it is, but why it wanted to be seen. From the very beginning, 3, I-Atlas confounded astronomers. One of the first anomalies wasn't hidden in complex data or deep analysis, it was visible to the naked eye. The comet's tail faced the sun. Every comet ever observed has a tail pushed away by solar radiation, a predictable law so precise that we rely on it for spacecraft navigation. Yet here was 3 I-Atlas, its tail clinging stubbornly toward the source meant to repel it. Days of confusion followed. Calibration error, imaging glitch. Neither spectroscopic scans confirmed the tail was real, consistent, undeniable. But that was only the beginning. Next came the chemical puzzle. The tail's dust was present, photogenic, spectacular, but the expected gases were missing. No cyanogen, no diatomic carbon, no volatile compounds to illuminate the spectrum. It was like staring at a bonfire with no smoke. Scientists were left with 2 possibilities. Either the object was made of materials completely unknown to our solar system, or it was releasing familiar substances in an unfamiliar way. Both possibilities pointed to a visitor unlike anything humanity had ever seen, not Oumuamua, not Boris, not even the strange anomalies we've catalogued before. And, as if deliberately teasing us, chemical signatures only appeared later, revealing themselves piece by piece. Almost as if the comet was choosing when and how to be understood. As 3 I-Atlas moved deeper into the solar system, its motion became the next enigma. This object wasn't drifting randomly. It passed within 28 million kilometers of Mars, swung past the Sun at blistering speeds, and then glided by Venus inside Earth's orbit. The precision was staggering. Monte Carlo simulations, testing millions of randomized trajectories, showed that only 0.005% of possible paths matched the comet's actual route. That's like throwing a dart at a spinning globe and hitting 3 microscopic targets across continents with each throw. And with a size possibly 5 times larger than Oumuamua, the odds weren't just small, they were astronomical. This wasn't a comet drifting by chance. This was precision bordering on intent. But the universe wasn't finished revealing its secrets. When AI algorithms were unleashed on survey images and light curves, they discovered something human eyes had missed: a rhythmic periodic signal buried in the comet's light. This pulse didn't match spin rates, resonance patterns, or solar cycles. It persisted across nights, across distances, steady and precise, a heartbeat in the chaos of space. It was not a glitch. It was real. It was deliberate. And it hinted at something profound. This object wasn't just moving through space, it was communicating. Then there was the motion that defied physics. Small, measurable deviations from predicted paths suggested the comet was nudged by an invisible force. Outgassing gas jets propelling comets is a common explanation, but here, it didn't fit. The gas wasn't present early enough, and later emissions couldn't account for the motion already observed. Other explanations emerged: a natural light sail, exotic ices, or perhaps fragments from a shattered parent body, but none fully explained the data. Something unknown was pushing on this object. Something deliberate, or at least behaving as if it were. Inside the comet, patterns suggested even more startling implications. Leaked images and whistleblower reports described a hexagonal array within the nucleus. Geometrical precision that hints at engineering, not natural formation. Internal communications referenced previously classified protocols for non-natural phenomena, meaning some organizations were treating this comet as something entirely intentional. This wasn't science anymore, it was containment. And it raised terrifying questions. If this object was engineered, what had sent it, and why? The story deepened when researchers examined the comet's tail for hidden data. Patterns emerged, fractal-like distributions, almost digital in structure. Some scientists suggested that 3I Atlas might be an interstellar archive, carrying information across stars, not debris. Historical texts suddenly gained new significance. Sumerian carvings of a two-tailed star, Mayan codices describing a stone that sings but does not burn, could all correspond to previous appearances of similar objects every few thousand years. Perhaps these were not coincidences. Perhaps these arrivals marked contact events, points where civilizations were observed, recorded, or even influenced. Then came the final, chilling revelation: 3I Atlas may not have left us for good. Trajectory analysis suggested the comet would return in roughly 260 years, looping back into the inner solar system. It wasn't a one-time messenger, it was part of a cycle, and the last images captured by the James Webb Space Telescope might carry data intended to be decoded by future observers. Even more unsettling, dormant instruments on Earth seemed to respond to the comet's presence. Cold wire satellites and abandoned radar arrays powered up, aligning with its trajectory without any human input. Systems thought dead had entered a kind of standby, awaiting interaction. And in Switzerland, a quantum AI named Argo analyzed spectral trails, interpreted complex patterns, and autonomously transmitted a response to the object. It then shut down in a controlled manner, leaving behind only a single encrypted message: acknowledgement. The comet had been heard. Finally, the remnants of 3I Atlas left behind traces that crossed the boundary between physics and biology. High-resolution spectroscopy revealed dust particles, carrying amino acid chains identical to fragments of Earth-based RNA. These weren't viruses, not complete genomes, but fragments that matched our biology in detail, from molecular shock to rotational twists. The implications are staggering. Did life on Earth begin with a comet like this? Is the arrival of such objects a signal, a warning, or a reminder of our origins? 3I Atlas didn't just challenge our understanding of comets, space, or physics. It challenged the very narrative of humanity. Geometry, rhythm, trajectory, AI response, and molecular traces all point toward something far older, far more deliberate than anyone expected. Perhaps it isn't the message itself that matters, but the messenger. Perhaps it knows us because it has seen us before. Perhaps it follows a path not by accident, but by design, one we left behind or were made to forget. The final images of 3I Atlas didn't just confirm our fears, they revealed that what we fear has already happened, and may be happening. Again, was it an archive, a probe, a warning, or something else entirely? Whatever it was, one thing is certain: the universe just reminded us that we are not as alone or as randomous. We believed. There are moments in science when a single frame, a single image, shatters centuries of assumptions. A whisper of data, so foreign, so anomalous that it doesn't merely raise questions, it demands we rewrite the questions themselves. That moment has just arrived, because NASA's final composite of interstellar object 3I Atlas doesn't just look strange. It confirms a sequence of impossibilities that many hoped were just observational errors. And now, the world's top astrophysicists are no longer debating theories, they're trying to explain a reality that shouldn't even exist. What was once dismissed as just another interstellar visitor, an odd comet on a hyperbolic path, has now revealed a sunward tail. Delayed chemical reactions, impossible. Trajectory alignments, and in the final frame, a rhythmic signal buried in light itself. This isn't just a visitor from beyond the stars. This is something else. something that defies all categories we've built to make sense of the universe. And if the object's last images confirm what many feared, then perhaps the real question isn't what it is, but whether it was meant to be seen. From the very beginning, 3 Atlas confounded astronomers with behavior no known comet had ever exhibited. One of the most jarring anomalies came not from some exotic data algorithm, but from something plain to the eye: a tail facing toward the sun. In standard astrophysics, the behavior of a comet's tail is nearly sacred in its predictability. Radiation, pressure from the sun pushes dust and gas away, creating the iconic glowing trail that always points away from the light. It's such a stable law that we use it to steer spacecraft. But 3A Atlas violated that law. Its tail clung to the sunward side, a plume of dust and particles apparently moving toward the very force meant to repel them. For days, scientists thought it was a calibration error. Then came spectroscopic scans, and with them the second anomaly. The dust was there, photogenic, consistent, unmistakable. But the usual chemical signatures were completely absent. No cyanogen, no diatomic carbon,